You are the dog chasing its tail, but that is not the snake eating itself. You just have to understand that the dog chasing its tail is already. You know what? Oh my God, that's so cool, Trevor. Do you remember my framework's open and closed loop?
Yeah.
That's so cool. This is literally open and closed loop. That's literally exactly what this is. The dog chasing its tail is an open loop, and the snake eating itself is the closed loop. It's literally the understanding that you can have an open loop, which is any time that you do not directly understand that you are God. And then you have the closed loop, which is the understanding that you are God, and they can literally happen in the same words. You can have the words that are saying, I am not God, and that... You good?
Yeah.
But you need to calm down.
I can hear you.
Hey.
Like, you good?
Yeah.
So, in the same way that like you can have the thought I am not God, and then you can have that as an open loop thought where like you understand like you like an open loop is trying to get to God. A closed loop is understanding that you are God. And that can happen instantly. You can literally the words I am not God can be perceived in an open loop capacity and they can be perceived in a closed loop capacity. You can think the words I am not God and then right after that you can intellectualize that as oh man, it sucks that I'm not God. Or the moment you think that, you can also intellectualize that exact same thought, those exact same words, those exact same feelings, and then you can perceive them as a closed loop, which would mean you would hear the words, I'm not God, and the way you would think about them is, look, this thing thinks it is not God. That is a microcosm of the vaster will to taste the best thought texture. One of its symptoms is the misconception that you are separate. That is another flavor, and God wishes to taste all flavors. And like you can literally perceive the thought I am not God from a closed loop. You can perceive the thought that I am not God as God, or you could perceive from an open loop. And the same thing with the thought I am God. You can have the thought I am God, and it can be open loop, which means you're like an ego trying to be like, yeah, come on, I am. Trust me, I am. And then you get knocked out because you're a fucking idiot trying to mimic it. You're like trying to like force yourself there. You're trying to like hype yourself up into God because you think God is a state to chase. When in all actuality, you could think that same thought from a closed loop perspective, which is I am God, and then in that moment you understand that the thing which thinks it is God is not God, but that is only because um it is, which obviously that sounds so retarded. That sounds contradiction on top of contradiction to the point where it becomes meaningless. But what I mean by that is you are not God in the sense that the thing which just thought to itself it is God is not. But the thing which formed itself into that thought, the feeling of that thought, what that is on, the greater experiencer, the greater brain, the greater computer, which is running the code, I mean, whatever
Yeah.
retarded analogy you want to put to it, the greater thing is that. So even though the individual thought that says it's God isn't God, God is still the one who experiences the thought that it is God and the experience that that thought is not God. So it's all God anyways. And that's the closed loop. So like, do you see what I mean? Where like that's the difference between open loop and a closed loop. And in the
Yeah.
same way, whenever you're getting water, you can be pouring the glass of water and be thinking about it like a dog chasing its tail, where you got shit bouncing around your head and you're like constantly chasing it and thinking, well, that one seems better. That one might lead me to this, and this one might lead me to that. And, oh man, what about the left hook and how that connects to the right leg? Or you can just be sitting there and you can watch those thoughts drift by as the water pours into your cup as you just always maximize towards the best thought texture because you are God. And so like that is the dog chasing its tail snake um framework. Um that's a really good framework. That's good shit. It's funny how someone will do that. Where like it'll give you something which seems like innocuous in the moment, and then it'll ripen like wine over the next couple weeks. You're like, oh, that was actually really profound. Um, but
It literally is. It's just like acid. It takes time to corrode.
yeah, for real. But so what next? So me and Jock had a conversation. I don't know what I was tying that into. I guess I'll just switch topics. Do, 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 do.